the stars to save the universe from constant dystopian future visions. Terry searches for his moment as Brandon continues to speak without pausing, even for breath. Lore, guests, chat, and sometimes even staying on topic. Wildcast Live! Wild Space Wildcast Go! Across hyperspace rivers we ride tonight, through worlds of steel and neon light, exploring stories far and wide, with chaos always by our side. Wild Space Saga on YouTube, Wild Space Saga Live. Pirates, tanks, strange worlds collide. Wild Space Saga Live. Brandon's still talking somewhere out there. Terry's trying to get a word in. Wild Space Saga Live. Wild Space Wildcast Go. Thundering.
All right, greetings, YouTube. This is Brandon Hill here with Terrence Pegasus, and together we are the creators of Wild Space Saga, the epic sci-fi action adventure series you didn't know you needed. And this is the Wild Space Saga Wildcast, made specifically to tell you exactly why you need it, and as we've been around for a hot minute in relative silence on DeviantArt, what you've been missing. But before we begin, take a moment to subscribe and hit that beautiful notification bell so that you won't miss a single bit of news, events, and live streams from our channel. Whether you catch us live or watching after the fact, we want you to join us on the Northwest Passage. And finally, if we piqued your interest, links to our books available in paperback and ebook, as well as everywhere else you can find us on the social medias, are available down in the doobly-doo. And please remember, we have our newest book, Twisted Faith, available where fine books are sold, especially on Amazon, both in paperback and hardcover and in digital. So we'd like to, hey, give us some love and follow us along and come check the book out. And if you feel so inclined, please leave us a review. Even if you didn't like it, we really do love feedback. And if you feel so inclined, give us some of our live streams, down at the doobly-doo, as we have said. All right. So, kind of starting out rarity, only with no one doing this right now, but that's okay. You can catch us after the fact and watch us, talk, leave questions, comments, snide remarks, all that good stuff. Oh, man. And there has to be a better way for StreamYard because they have the controls are all like to the side, but they're all so far apart. I think there has to be a way to set up a thing like to put like an event that might just be part of the premium one, because we're kind of just using the basic the
free shit. Yeah
So I was sitting there for just a moment trying to find the stupid streaming starting soon thing, and I swear that somebody must have moved it around, and then you pop in on the private chat while I'm doing that.
Yeah, I'm right.
Oh man. Yeah, it's still too loud for you, man?
It's just because I've got the headphones, so it comes through quite loud. The balance, I don't know how they balance the sound, but yeah.
Because it's like
it just means the background music comes through a bit, and I can't hear the conversation very well.
I'm gonna turn it down so low.
I like people to hear it, obviously, because
the thing is, the volume I put it at that's good for you. I can barely hear it at all. So I'm worried about the other people hearing it.
But then if people want to hear it, they can ask, and we can crank it up. It's just for general conversation. I can't hear enough. I don't know if I'm shouting or not. It's that loud in my ears. I effectively think I feel like I have to shout over it, and obviously I don't because it's in my headphones. But it makes it feel like it.
Yeah, I understand. That's just how that goes.
Remember, you also have a noise-sensitive Aspie here, so he doesn't like loud noise in the first place.
Well, for me, I'm recording from my what's called my computer, my computer little laptop. So it's
you use the external speakers, don't you? So, but with my mic, I don't know whether if I put those on, we're going to end up with echoes. That's why I use the headphones.
Yeah, I mean, I could use my
technical chat in the middle of the live. It's wonderful.
Oh, trust me, I've seen live streams that do that all the time.
No, I love it. It's better than that with the one where, one of our first ones where I berated the hell out of you for 5 minutes.
Well, first off, I guess I could also tell the fans out there that, I started back on doing some serious writing. I had been in a massive funk for the longest time. And when it came to writing, and now I'm able to get back doing some stuff both for Wild Space Saga.
Well, no, I've been having to write his half at the same time.
Well, you did do that one part that was that involved the characters of working at the book,
Yeah, I know.
So
I know.
So anyway, I'm going back to working on all that good stuff. Plus another writing project that's non-Wild Space Saga related. That, if anyone's inclined, if feels so inclined, I might talk about that a bit on my channel. That's Deck Crash. I do book reviews there, and I do book reviews there mostly, and I've been kind of behind on the book reviews. I've actually gotten back to writing my next book review, and that's going to be for Dungeon Crawler Carl. So if anybody's interested in all of that, you can check it out on my channel, Deck Crash. DECKRASH. I promise people I was not trying to use a double entendre there. Oh, man.
No time for crap double entendres now, Richie. Curry's window's already blown. They've thrown the policeman through it. And anyone who gets bottom quotes will know that one.
Well, thank God that I'm actually able to do some recording here from, right in front of my air conditioner. And things whisper quiet. It never shows up on the mic, which I'm really glad about. This mic is probably one of the best investments I've ever had in the longest time.
Compared to my really crap tiny fan that I may just have to show you guys. Hang on.
Go ahead.
This fan here, where is it? I'm trying to move it all around. Right, look, that covered in sellotape is my air conditioning.
See, they don't even have any. They don't even have air conditioning in the UK.
Well, we never needed it. We're cold.
Shoot. Yeah, it's like down here in Louisiana. You don't have AC, you die. That ain't even a joke.
That's why when we get heat waves, we're literally dying because we're not built for that. Our house is meant to keep the heat in, not. There he is, the man with no neck.
Hey, what's up, Niall? If you have any more questions for us, fire away to the only one.
He will. Don't worry.
You're the only one here right now. Hopefully, we'll get some others joining in later on.
I saw him in the week. Trust me, Niall has questions.
Awesome. Yeah, we've been just doing a lot of small talk, especially kind of the whole deal about the weather, because still down here in Louisiana, we've been undergoing a heat wave, and for us, excuse me for using a Fahrenheit scale, but it's gotten up to like 110. I want to say that is in the 40s for y'all. So
110, yeah, high 30s, nearly 40s, yeah.
Oh no, it's 40. I remember
with Niall, the reason I see Niall a lot is basically because I don't have a PlayStation 5 and I don't have the budget for one currently. I have to live Space Marine 2 vicariously through him.
Well, have Niall buy Space Marine 2, and then whenever you're hanging out with him, play. If we ever happen to be on.
No, he already has it, but it's his game, so I won't play it.
Oh, dang. Ben, I am sorry. I wanted to do something funny for your birthday, and I forgot to do that freaking clip. I was going to do that clip. If you ever seen that
I knew you would, Niall. I knew you would because there's bits you want to use in it.
If you ever saw that free run a bridge thing where they have Fern using the pouring that liquid that takes people's clothes off on Freerun at the end. Stark walks in the room and is like, "Hey, Miss Freerun, have you seen naked grandma?" And he runs off.
We missed a trick. We missed a trick because we could have run an animation of Pip wishing Finn happy birthday.
You know what? We probably should have done that. That would have been even better.
Happy birthday, Finn. Apologies, we missed a trick there because having her as our little channel presenter, that could have actually been a nice little thing. Anyway, just to address another thing, there's a few. I mean, you obviously know the human factions. We always talk about the Imperium, the Alliance, the Pirates, the Hippies. We also obviously have the Felians on the alien. There's androids. Androids, though, kind of mixed out across the other factions, though. So, don't know whether you call them as an independent faction or not, really.
What, Felian?
No, androids.
Oh, androids are kind of a wild card. They find themselves in places where they can at least find a niche. But it's so many people just don't trust them because ever since the CompuCore system was corrupted, it has affected them. And not only that, they also utilize a chemical that separates them from their network, which causes them to slowly go crazy. And the chemical humans call it BTS, better than sex, and it actually works like a psychoactive drug for humans. But for androids, it, like I said, it dulls their connection to CompuCore and allows them to work more individually. But the downside is many androids go crazy because of it, and they end up trying to find where your
modders come from, as I call them.
Yep, and so they end up trying to find find out where your soul is
by vivisecting you.
But just on that note, I was trying to tell Finn, I was like, dude, I was sorry, I wanted to do something for you for your birthday, but for what it's worth, man, happy birthday.
Yeah, you got recognized. Next time we'll do something proper. I mean, I know that's a whole 12 months, but that'll give us a chance to actually not be shit at this, and get it right. And
also, hopefully, one day we'll be able to afford getting the deluxe version of StreamYard. I'm sorry, but I know a lot of streamers and a lot of live streamers use StreamYard, but I look at the prices for StreamYard, and
as far as I know, a lot of people think it's arse, but it's the only one with a free model you can use as well, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know of any other streaming platform that allows you to stream. To me, StreamYard's not that bad. And they're always trying to improve themselves. I just think that they need hotkeys because
it's just a little bit clunky, I think, but it's not terrible.
Now, in all fairness, what I need to do is, and I think it's just because I have about 1 million tabs open on my computer, so it causes my computer to get a little wonky, and I probably just need to reboot again. I'll be trying to do things on StreamYard, and my computer starts hiccuping. And even when I turn off Facebook is a massive resource hog, and so that's what causes most of the problems. Because
literally only running 2 tabs, StreamYard and YouTube at the minute. I don't bother trying to run any more while on stream.
Oh, I got multiple tabs of YouTube open. I've got multiple tabs of one of my anime, one of my manga web pages that I like to read because I read several all at once. I've got multiple web tabs of that. I got a couple of tabs. I used to have a ton of tabs of DeviantArt open. Realized that I was just kind of letting those things hang. I've got tabs for Proc. I've got tabs for X. I've got all kinds of crap.
On the faction side of things, there is another race that I will mention that they call themselves the Heralds. The Heralds of what? Well, that's a bit of a secret that I would like to keep for now.
They're really they're very much something you're going to have to learn about as you read.
They're quite insidious, put it that way. They come along, they promise you technology advancement. A bit again, it goes back to Babylon 5 in the sense of like the Shadows when they say, "What do you want?" and they'll kind of provide it. You know, some people want to build their careers, so they'll find their way into people who want to make their way up the ladder. You know, and say, well, we can help you do that. All the while they're sneakily doing something in the background. The price is never as straightforward, and they're usually quite a creepy looking bunch as well. But they say, oh, don't worry about our appearance. That's just our culture. You know, not villains or anything. You know, we're not villains or anything.
Yeah, we're not villains or anything.
The only other race I would mention is there's one called the Vanguard. They're quite an aggressive species, and actually it's the ones that's the ones the Imperium are fighting. They don't really know where they've come from. They just know that so far they've overrun a few of the worlds on their far borders. So they're trying to repel them quite heavily because they're an horrible, nasty bunch that just consume everything.
Yep. But we haven't really mentioned them all that much, except for a couple.
No.
In the prologues. So
you'll come across them sort of probably a little bit maybe in the next book, or at least get some mention of them. And obviously, I will have a faction focus song for them to hint towards them. But the detail will be light because they are set to feature more heavily as time goes on. So obviously, I'm going to keep the cards close to the chest, but I still want you guys to have a tune to build some hype about them.
Sound here. Just a second.
Oh, Brandon, how could you? Honestly, look at that. Letting his phone go off in the middle of a stream. What is wrong with you?
No, it was making sure the sound on my phone was off. So.
I know, exactly, but something must have triggered that.
Nope, just remembered that I had to check to make sure that this thing was not going to be interrupted by about 1,000,001 sounds coming from my phone.
Well, the Space Yakuza aren't quite the same as the Yakuza we have now, because obviously there's been a few thousand years of separation. So there's a few of the tropes from movies and things that the current Yakuza have adopted a little bit.
Yeah, they still use the Irozumi tattoos on their backs. So.
Yeah, they've still got all those traditions. It's just they're not necessarily exactly the same. There's a little bit more theatricality about them in these ones.
We have like Chinese triads, but we haven't really talked that much about them. There's also they're normal street gangs and whatnot that you'd find, especially on Zhao.
They tend to run one of the other districts, so we focused on the Yakuza district in this case. But yeah.
And you've got, and of course you have space pirates. They originally started as a your standard criminal enterprise, but they've grown into something a bit more complex. So
and Irid is constantly trying to legitimize them.
Yeah, I mean they're like we said before, and I don't know if we were answering your question on this or somebody else's. They work more like privateers. The closest thing, like down here in Louisiana,
was it last week before? One of two.
Down here in Louisiana, we have the legend of a particular pirate named John Lafitte who did a lot of running for the Union during the War of 1812, and so kind of see them a little bit like that, but quite a bit more organized.
And they have a homeworld or two.
Right. It's their Tortuga, basically.
That's Cherno in our stuff, Cherno Station. That's where, if you can get it on Zhao, come here. We will probably be able to supply it for you.
Yeah, that's a pirate hideout, definitely.
I mean, as long as you can speak Russian, because it's all in Cyrillic there.
Yeah.
No sign is in English there.
Now that's something that we really hadn't talked about languages in Wild Space Saga, and one thing is that there is a standardized language, and in a nice little nod to Red Dwarf, because they talked about the language wasn't going anywhere. Esperanto is our lingua franca. Even when I do comics and whatnot, I still have, like, when you see screen readouts, I intentionally have them written in Esperanto. Yeah. What about comms? What you got?
Well, that'd be me. Yeah. As well as it's subspace comms, obviously. You need something that can travel almost instantly across vast distances. Yeah. Some of that's through hyperspace and obviously through relays and things like that. You've got your standard as well, UHF, VHF, AM, FM, because those are really good in an atmosphere over short distances. So why would you not use them? They may be basic, but they're reliable.
I'm kind of wondering, I don't think we really discussed, how they use communication like across interstellar distances. I would think that
I already thought about it. So
something akin to quantum entanglement.
Well, no, the subspace transceiver. I actually used it in Mercenaries because it got burnt out when they.
Oh, okay.
When they used it to disable the androids. Oh yes, you see, Brandon, not forgetting that Terry thinks of nearly everything.
I don't forget that. That is why I asked you.
Yeah, no. So it's a case of where hyperspace is a layer, below normal space. They then realise that there were more, and you can beam a signal through it. Even if you can't fly a ship through it, you can get a signal through it. So there's a lot of sort of high-speed communication like that. But obviously, you need relays because you're still going a long way. So you need these occasional sort of subspace and hyperspace beacons to help relay your signal. So if you're going from somewhere like Saburna, the signal, all the way to somewhere like Tafanavar, which is the opposite end of the alliance to it, it's still going to take, you're still going to have like 2 or 3 seconds delay. It's not going to be perfect instantaneous communication as such, unless you've got something really expensive.
It's like when you're talking to somebody on national TV or over the radio. They respect the 7-second delay.
Yeah. If you want a massive distance, you say from one end of Alliance space to the other end of Imperial space, you are looking at hours to a day for responses. You wouldn't have instantaneous, and that's even through the subspace comm.
Yep.
Because you're talking light years at that point.
I was just going to make a joke about how the transceivers just tend to bleep out people's swear words, but the 7-second delay.
The classic on the old live to the transmissions, yeah.
But no, but seriously though, I mean that would cause a certain delay. So yeah, I mean we do have that kind of stuff. Like you also have to remember, Wild Space Saga is very much it's soft sci-fi. Definitely
the StellarNet.
An internet. Yes, we have the StellarNet. Pip uses it. Probably is very much addicted to it. She probably literally go into withdrawals, something whatever happened to it.
I mean, that's where she, goes and uses Pipzilla simulation. Where she's basically wearing a Godzilla onesie and stamping on digital buildings, pretending she's really tall, because as we know, she's really short.
I'm kind of wondering if she has a like little man syndrome, that doesn't.
Your mum.
What?
No, who makes the best movies?
Oh. I don't think we really went into actual movie production things.
I've not gone that far yet. We've got some sort of bits and pieces where I've used them for posters and things on some of my, the generated content I did. So we've got bands like one called Arch Enemy.
There's
what's the other one?
Ambush.
That's it, called Ambush. So we've got some bands. With the films, we just did Cyber Cop 3 or Acton Blaster 7. This is what I put on the posters and things like that.
I would think that making movies, because you have the StellarNet and the internet has been around in some form or fashion for well over 1,000 years. I don't think that there's anything really there's such a thing as Hollywood nowadays, that it is highly decentralized, lots of amateur type stuff, a lot of what's the word I'm looking for, indie type stuff going around. So
yeah, that kind of thing now. Yeah. As for the scum of hyperspace, that is literally Cherno Station.
What
the thing is just a massive, hollowed out remains of a moon. Generic Super Cup. So we don't really have anything necessarily like Klingons as such. That would probably be more amongst the colonies where some of the arcs were had various cultures in. I would give an example, probably the character Ike. He's from Polynesian culture. A lot of their stuff was very warrior focused, and so you have human sort of warrior culture out there that's maybe taken to the extreme, but there's nothing sort of heavily Klingon as such.
You do have the tanks, but because the tanks were born and bred for combat, you do have the ones that have defected to the Alliance, form their own like conclaves or sisterhoods that where they might find a niche. Usually, when it comes to doing things in security,
a lot of it is they just don't adapt to civilian life very well, so they tend to return to what they're good at. Yeah.
Right now, what we have in like book 4, they're working with a group of tanks that basically glommed onto the Yakuza, and they call themselves the White Sakura, and
which is basically Japanese for white killers.
Yeah, and you might want to explain them because they're your creation, Terry.
Yeah. Well, no, it's literally that, as where a lot of the defectors have come from what's known as the Dreadnought disaster, where the Imperium built a whacking great battleship and thought, this is going to be on par with a Felian battle cruiser. Let's try it. And learned very quickly, no, it wasn't. But rather than sort of salvage anything, they kind of just left it to, burn. Which meant things like, we've talked of the Coven in depth. They were a bunch of tech tanks who were its processors who survived. So they've got no faith in the Imperium anymore, so they try to make a life of their own. And a lot of these soldiers, these surviving ground tanks, as they're known, have gone, well, hang on a minute, you abandoned us. So they took whatever working ships were left in the wreckage and headed towards the Alliance and sort of the pirate worlds and said, look, we've basically been left for dead, but we're functional, we can help, we can do something.
Yeah, you have a lot of
job. And so give us a job, somewhere to stay, and we'll repay you.
You have a lot of tanks working for especially pirate groups. You had space pirates coming in, salvaging the wreckage. You had, of course, you have many tanks working in space hippie fleets, finding their lives there. Usually
the Dreadnought was a massive ship with massive internal volume, so there's thousands of defecting ground tanks. There's a lot less tech tanks because they were part of the actual sort of processor core hubs. A lot of them died, obviously, as the ship got torn apart. So there's only a few hundred of them who exist. They're a very rare thing, which is why raiders and slavers and the like like to get their hands on them, then forcibly connecting to their ships to make them run better.
In the story that I'm working on, that centers on one of those space hippie fleets, you have a group of tech tank sisters that were rescued from Zadian slavers. They're from a planet called Zade, which is like the only other planet where slavery is still allowed in the Alliance. But yeah, they were rescued from Zadian slavers, and the captain basically screwed the dealer over and took them in. And let's say that part of the story is how like his kind of trying to screw them over comes back to bite him in the ass. So there you go.
So, but Brand was inspired by a great many different things.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that came together. I wanted to make a story that put together everything that you loved. about like your old sci-fi stuff that you loved from the 80s. Terry and I were kind of brought together because of our love for Jason the Wheeled Warriors. That was a show that we watched. I loved Robotech, Saber Rider and the Star Sheriffs. A lot of shows. Exo.
Just while you're listening to all that, remember we've only got about half an hour.
I'm not about to list every single. But let's just say think of like every 80s/90s sci-fi cartoon that you loved, and that was what we were trying to do with Wild Space.
That's what Brandon's trying to do, yeah.
Or and especially just TV shows, even ones that were like short-lived.
I think a lot of my influences came from what I'm trying to do with the characters. Obviously, the idea of tanks came from Space Above and Beyond with the in vitros.
Yeah.
But the difference is our tanks are way more enhanced. They're more powerful. They're stronger. But it's also something that extends into like the characters Artemis and Nemesis being engineered assassins and things like that. Is the premise from the original RoboCop that he's a product. He's not seen as a man, except by the police. By the actual OCP, he's their product. And he's treated as such. And, as if, despite still having his brain and his mind, he's not human anymore.
Though that scene where his wife was still holding a candle for him and he had to basically break it off with her was really sad. They did this to honor him. Your husband is dead.
And I always sort of thought that idea where exploitation and things like that is a very real thing, and trauma is a very real thing. And I always like to explore that with characters. And I think not necessarily intentionally with a lot of it, but that's why I created the tanks and everything. I've got all these cool badass characters with all the badass abilities of the action tropes, but on the other side of it, they've been treated horribly. They've been through sheer horror in their lives. To come out how they have, some of them, is just a testament of will or the environment they found themselves in. Go ahead. And I think that's the story I like to tell, though, is that despite everything, you think one of the examples is my character Maria. She's the biggest, most powerful tank who was ever created. It wasn't even intentional. She's effectively got giantism of the tank kind. Hence why she's a foot taller than all of them. She's 10 times as strong. But actually, her entire personality is the exact opposite of a warrior, in the sense that, she's one of the most gentle people you'll ever meet. She likes to ride a bike and wear flowery dresses. But again, cross her, and then the armor comes on. The hair gets cut off, and the guns come out.
She makes me think of, I don't know if you've ever watched or read Monster Musume, but one of the characters in Monster Musume, one of the 5 characters is a I'm trying to remember. Yeah, she's an ogre. She has like a big horn on her head. Her name is Tanisha. Everybody calls her Tio for short. And yeah, she's basically she has Maria's personality. She is huge and intimidating and wears massive armor when she goes into battle because she works for the government in something called the Mon Squad, where they basically deal with extra species crimes. But her personality is the sweetest little cinnamon roll you will ever know. And if she had been real, I would marry her. And she loves wearing frilly dresses, even though she's ginormous. Always has a hard time fitting into normal human spaces and finding like clothes that fit her. She loves to wear frilly dresses and things like that. She is very, very much girly, and very, very sweet, but is just ginormous and super.
Yeah. I like to explore those sort of dichotomies with things. So though, I'm influenced by shows and things in a way as well. It's sort of, I take those certain elements I think would be useful and then make a character that you can explore something with. It's like being homosexual amongst tanks is a no-no, and she is quite openly so.
Well, sexuality at all amongst tanks is kind of a no-no because that's not what they were built for.
No, they would, as soon as she sort of expressed those sorts of traits, they'd memory strip her.
Yeah, and the
try and reset her personality again.
Yeah, it's just like we have like only 2 tanks that we have that actually show like sexuality, and that is we have Maria, who is in a relationship with Artemis, and then we have Akiko, who's in sometimes relationship with Tiger, and it's a no-no. Well, they were born and bred to be they're basically tools. They see them as tools, basically machines.
Yeah. So you don't have feelings.
Yeah, they do.
The only thing you need is food and sleep, and we've designed you to operate on as little of that as possible.
Yeah, they do. The Second Imperium does everything they can to try to suppress that, though not every soldier in their army is a tank, and many of them are men, and human beings have never been. Not all of them are that prone to following the rules to the letter, and so some of them have decided to have a little fun with some of the tanks, and so some of them do know what all that is. So, our soldier Akiko, she was one of those tanks. She and her cohorts were playthings of their superior officer, part-time. And so when she first met Tiger, when he was stranded in the jungles on Blair, they had a little fling, and Kumiko Frostbite was the result. So, and which is really odd in itself because tanks are genetically engineered. Well, it's not even so they're engineered. The genetic stock that they use to make them. It actually cannot crossbreed with normal humans because they come from a planet called Jakarta's Pride, where their genetics got mutated to where they cannot reproduce with normal human males anymore. So,
I mean, tech tanks are deliberately sterile.
Yeah, and tech tanks are deliberately sterile. They don't have ovaries now. Terry and I, we were talking one particular thing, a particular tank that has a boyfriend named Ajax. I'm gonna be able to kind of put that into the story at a later point, but not because she has the baby herself, but because they get medical help for that. Let me see. Heroes in the setting. Does Joe Public know as a great hero? Oh, okay. I know that Irid, that's Xerxes' cousin. Not Irid. Sorry, Isabar. He was a very well-known mercenary, and he's actually well-known publicly because he blew the lid off of a series of incidents where half-Felian children were being kidnapped, and in one of his investigations into Icona, accidentally stumbled upon Dr. Hayashibara and her lab, where she had actually gotten dissident Harakia Felians to kidnap human children, crossbreed children, hybrid children, and she put them in tanks and cut off their higher brain function, and was channeling their own psionic abilities to try to overthrow the government of the Second Imperium. But it blew the lid off of all that. And though it was unfortunate that process pretty much in essence killed those poor children, he at least brought some closure to it, and ended up shutting down the doctor's operation because the authorities on Icona found out about it. She was running an illegal operation. So,
I mean, obviously in the pirate worlds, Irid and Alexa are highly revered because of the situation with Usurper Montera, who actually killed Irid's original ruling family and took power, and then ruled with an iron fist.
Yeah, and basically, the pirates became a real thorn in everybody's backside during that time. And when the Rightful King took place, he basically made a deal with the Alliance and made the pirates into privateers. So, And
obviously, Alexa is revered on the King's Night because there's the two worlds. They just did a two-pronged attack. Iri went for Roma, the capital, and Alexa went for the King's Night, where it's ruled over by a guy they just know as the Tyrant. They won't ever say his name because he was such a bloody monster. He's just known as the Tyrant of King's Night.
Yep. So, there are definitely...
She actually cut out his heart and ate it live on TV.
I don't think you told me about that one, dude.
Oh, yeah, no, because that's also part of the warrior culture of King's Night. It's a cross between Maori and Highlanders.
Okay.
Hence why they have lots of bagpipes, but they love singing about fights. Mind you, that's Glasgow on a Friday night in general. But they don't even need the Maori, Polynesian culture for that bit. But the whole point was, by doing that, she demonstrated her commitment to the people.
Let's go on a Friday night.
We've lost him on that one, haven't we?
I'm just thinking of that movie Doomsday. Have you ever seen that one? That was where they had like that virus that they had to cut off like Scotland from the rest of the UK, and it turned into Mad Max on the other side of the wall. Even though the virus had long since burned itself out.
No. That area of Scotland's like that anyway.
Wow.
It used to be, as far as I know, Glasgow isn't as bad as it used to be, but yeah, there was a reputation, especially in the 80s, for it being pretty bad.
I mean, that's why you watch the Christopher Nolan Batman with Joker, that's why they call it Glasgow Smile. Yeesh. But I'll have to take your word for that one. But
otherwise, it's... Sorry, babe. Otherwise, I'd say it's the Gestalt pilots are really the big celebrities because obviously these giant robots fight for entertainment currently.
Zerx is an up and coming Gestalt fighter champion, and he does, as the story progresses, start making a name for himself when he starts doing work for the Alliance, and especially when he starts actively fighting against the Second Imperium. Helping them to win several victories, and then, of course, as the story progresses, becoming one of the big heroes of the day. Saving all of mankind, basically. It used to be rough. Stabbings were high, mainly because the docks closed, and they threw a lot at the place. Yeah. Oh, okay.
They used to have a really big shipping industry, shipbuilding industry, and then they closed it all down. So imagine unemployment was rife.
Oh, basically, so Glasgow was the Detroit of the UK.
You could say that, yeah, just with ships instead of cars.
Like Detroit has a huge area that is basically.
They hosted, the Commonwealth Games a while ago, and what they did was they really invested in the place for that, and really made it regenerated it quite significantly. But with these sort of the Gestalt leagues, because it's a cross between WWE and robot combat,
robot wars. Yes.
Yeah. you got to do it Dara Breen style these days instead of Craig Charles.
Who's the guy? What's the name of the guy who plays Lister in
Craig Charles?
Okay, we need to maybe have like a robot that does the announcements who looks like him for the Gestalt tournaments. That'd be awesome. Because I always loved watching Robot Wars when he hosted it. No, not Joel. Anything with what?
Are you talking about Zhao?
Oh, Zhao. Yeah, no, Zhao. No, that's Xiao. That's how you pronounce that.
Yeah.
But yeah, we also have like we have a similar thing to Robot. We actually borrowed it from the UK. We have our own Robot Wars in the States. We call it BattleBots. Yeah, we call it BattleBots down here.
I know it was really shit at the beginning. Oh my god, your robots were terrible.
Dude, there's some robots that are pretty freaking awesome in the BattleBots.
Now they are. Now, in the last sort of 5 or 10 years, I remember the early ones. They look like shit. And then when they did a US versus UK, got their asses handed to them because they were so shit. Especially Razor. That was one of the best ones with its big claw and beak. And
I think what the whole deal with BattleBots, at least in the earlier when it first started out, people were going, I think, more for style than substance. And so now you look at the robots in BattleBots, and no, they go for substance. Those things will.
It improved massively. Yeah.
I've seen a robot explode on those things.
We've seen that one where old uppercut blew the fuel tank on Sawblaze.
Yeah, I was just like, good lord.
I always like Witch Doctor.
Are there giant robots in hyperspace?
Only when they're aboard their ships.
Oh yeah. I mean, they don't have the ability to travel through space, so I think that might be something that talk about, like when they get like all the systems. See, here's the thing, is that Gestalts are antiques. Well, not all of them, but the antique ones are the most valuable ones. They're the ones that were salvaged from wreckages from the Imperium Wars. Those have like CPUs and things on them that still have not been completely reverse engineered. And you have multiple corporations that are working that are working on it, especially MTHI, which we do have something that a subplot about in our upcoming book.
Oh yeah.
And
I mean, we're hyping book 4 and we haven't even finished it yet, but trust me, I'm actually quite proud of where this one's going.
Yeah, this one is very exciting. It's a lot of action going on and a lot of really cool stuff. And it also is a nod to one of the prior stories that we wrote in our Tales of Wild Space book called Birthright. But you'll understand when you read it. But they do have Gestalts. You have multiple corporations working on there. They don't have all their systems fully online. Now, their ability to travel through hyperspace, I'm kind of thinking, and I guess we probably have to discuss it, about whether or not we want to do something like that when they get.
To be honest, that's what garrison mode was kind of for in a lot of the earlier ships as well, like the likes of the Reckless, because you could expand the interior. It's not just ridiculous amount of troops you can transport; it's material.
Yeah.
So you'd run these a phalanx of Gestalts in there, as well as a legion of troops. Logistics vehicles, everything you need to invade a world in a ship that's 300 meters long, because one ship can get in there rather than Armada, and that was the whole point.
Yeah.
And that one ship then just deploys everything, and next thing you know, you've already got an invasion force on the surface.
Yep. And you imagine those invasion forces, and with Gestalts. Yeah, the Imperium Wars wrecked a lot of planets. As a matter of fact, the colonies, the ones that still exist, are only a fraction of all the colonies that used to exist. You have entire worlds that were rendered uninhabitable, some broken in half by the Imperium Wars.
This is why I extended the timeline as much as I did.
Yeah, some worlds were irreparably altered. Like we keep talking about Jakarta's Pride. Jakarta's Pride used to be a planet that was run by a hyper-patriarchal system that basically, think of the Handmaid's Tale, but on a planetary scale. That's what it was like there. But when the Imperium Wars happened, it actually flipped things the opposite way afterwards, because they used so many chemical and biological warfare agents. It mutated the genetics of everyone on the planet, killed off every male human, but most of the women survived. But it mutated their genetics to where they can no longer reproduce with males. Also, it's still potentially highly dangerous for any male to go to that planet because the viruses and whatnot are still active. So, so that they reorganized their society with the help of a woman named Jakarta Lowen. And basically turned it into a matriarchal system, and now they had to look for alternate ways to reproduce, induce parthenogenesis, creating clones of yourself, composite clones, all that stuff. So yeah, it's basically a society of all women. And I know a lot of people who might be watching this at a later point will probably say, "Oh, that's one of the stupidest sci-fi tropes that was abandoned a long time ago because it tended to be highly sexist." but the thing is, when I came up with the idea, I kind of toyed with the idea to see how I could make it into something that would be interesting. And in that particular case, it was basically a society of all women that altered itself to where it didn't need males to survive. And so you have a very unique society that grew out of that.
See, whereas my response to that would be, do you see this field? This is the field where I grow my fucks. Observe that it is barren.
No, I didn't do that out of people, talking about how. It's not because I cared about what people thought about female-only society. I actually learned about that after I had come up with the idea for Jakarta's Pride. It was a video I was watching talking about, well, that was a sci-fi trope that was abandoned a long time ago because of how completely ridiculous and actually sexist a lot of the tropes that built around that society were. And I realized that when I came up with the idea for the society, it really avoided all that. Just
from what you always told me, though they're effectively all female there, the general sort of attitude is quite asexual because there isn't really any sexual reproduction anymore. It's more towards the science and engineering side of things. So there isn't really any consideration of gender. They just happen to be all female now because of the state of the planet.
And not only that, their genetic engineering expertise is second to none. And so that's they were one of the first worlds to be annexed by the Second Imperium, but they were always Imperial loyalists, even back to the days of the First Imperium. So when the Second Imperium formed, they just joined and really didn't question it. And so they just started using their resources to create tanks.
That's very dependent on where you are, because obviously if you're in the Second Imperium, especially closer to the core, there's a quite tight grip on information. Yeah. There are no independent TV stations or broadcasters in the Imperium, or at least not near the core. Towards the edges where things start getting a bit fuzzy, and maintaining order is a bit more difficult.
Also, as before, planets like Zhao tend to be a bit of an exception because you can get away with a lot because, well, lots of crime there and lots of illegal enterprises. Think about Zhao as a planetary, and even though there is a section on Zhao that's called Kowloon City, think about Zhao as just a planet-sized Kowloon City, well, continent-sized Kowloon City, and that there you go. It has a lot of under the table things going on and information.
I mean, to be fair, the place is fucking dumb.
Depending on who you are, say that Zhao is a really great place to go if you're rich. You got a lot of money. Hey, it's gonna be a paradise. But you better hope to God you don't lose that money, or you're gonna find yourself into some really in a really bad spot.
I mean, in the Alliance, there's a lot more independent news networks, broadcasters, things like that. More because, well, the Alliance is a load of planets who not all of them really like each other. They just realise the benefit of sticking together.
Alliance of convenience.
It's better than being under the yoke of the Imperium. So they're like, we hate you, but we'll work with you.
I mean,
Dorado.
I mean, Saburna is basically like the America of the Alliance, and it's also the capital world. But they
the America of the Alliance,
well, Dorado also. I kind of look at that more like the Texas of the Alliance when it comes to Dorado, but pretty much the same thing. But they made alliances with planets like Zaid and
Zinj.
Zinj. I have no idea why my mind blanked on that. Zaid and Zinj, which are basically the two worlds that still allow slavery, and they're willing to look the other way.
Bomb the shit, so they have to live underground.
And with Zaid, it's just their culture, and it's a culture that stubbornly refused to alter itself for the benefit of everybody. So yeah, even though they don't like these two worlds, they still are aligned with them because Zinj has a ton of material resources because of the extensive cities that are still more or less standing that they scrap for raw materials. And Zaid actually does have a ton of manpower, even though it requires them to
Some slaves.
contracts with them, for using slaves. And really, Zinj is sort of a symbiotic relationship with Zaid because a lot of their workforce
They're basically the North Korea of the Alliance without the military power.
Yeah.
You know, they sort of poke and prod, but like to not go too far and be fully ostracized because then they'll run out of resources.
Yeah, they're not going to run out of resources anytime soon. Those cities were massive. Some extended hundreds of miles. So
now the sewers are all that's left of them.
They even dig out the sewers too. Plenty of raw material.
That was a Matrix quote.
Yes, I know it's a Matrix reference. I know it's a Matrix reference. But yeah, so you see, it's most of the worlds do get along relatively well. I mean, a lot of people think that representatives from HANA 4 are pretty stuffy, but they still are able to make like a lot of high level materials. Haven is everybody's friend because they're basically the most peaceful world. But they have like a lot of they make a lot of processed materials. They're also a breadbasket world. They get a lot of food from Haven. So it's a lot. They all rely on each other. When Mandela 1 was annexed, though, that was a massive black eye to the Alliance because Mandela 1 they had a lot of biotech industries there, and they were using a lot of their technology, especially for bolstering their technological their technological sector. You do have a lot of, fortunately, refugees that work with the Alliance, and they kind of reorganize their scientific endeavors and whatnot to
It's why when Tantagel was attacked, the Alliance responded hard.
Yeah, Tantagel was one of their military training worlds, and also had one of the strongest military next to Halo Meridian. And they're really fighting because of what happened on Mandela 1. They are putting a lot of resources in defending Tantagel.
Even though Book 4 isn't finished, Book 5 will feature Tantagel quite heavily.
Yeah. And what's really cool, and if you go to time for a plug. If you go to his Instagram page, Wild Space Saga, spelled SPAICE Saga, and the link is down the doobly-doo. Oh, by the way, we did fix the error in the link.
You mean I've now got to post the map? So I haven't posted it yet.
Oh, it's cool though. He'll be posting it eventually. But he
of the continental city.
Yeah, he sent me a lot of pictures of Tantagel 9 due to some characters that he had made before, just hadn't really done a lot of renditions of, and also some newer ones that he came up with not too long ago. So if you got a chance, check those out. I even did.
There will also be an upcoming song project of A World at War, which will feature some of the characters on Tantagel.
Yeah. And we're also doing some music on various themes. If for those of you who've been following us here on our YouTube page, you've seen that, and we're going to be doing even more. So look forward to that.
We've got Faction Focus Volume 2 to come, which is like I said, the aliens and the android factions, and then A World at War is going to be about Tantagel and some of the characters that will feature there. See, I have it planned out. It's all.
Yep. But he does the art that's rendered on what's called on ChatGPT, and I do a lot of animations of that
images. Art. I don't call it art because I haven't done the heavy lifting.
Well, it's still art, but it's not. It's not like art done by a human being. people still look at it and can see beauty in it. So I would still call it art.
It's an image. It's a generated image. You know?
Yeah, true. I mean, it's not art in a sense that, it's not true art in that a human's done it. Yeah, it's more of a colloquial term. So.
No, that I prefer the reason I differentiate is because at the end of the day, whilst I have used our own artwork to train it, and I have very detailed prompts on what I'm after. I think at the end of the day, the machinery has generated the final image, and that's why I don't call it art.
Yeah. And personally, like I like to do it just using my own images to make them look more professional. So, but yeah, it's not art in the sense of we know art.
Yeah.
I just use art.
Yeah, but that's the only reason I differentiate. I know some people can be really quite. There's still a lot of emotions are high over AI, and we tend to cover this often.
It's okay.
That's because it is such a subject close to people's hearts, is why it comes up every time we talk about it.
It's okay, man. I posted some animations that I've done, involving like some stuff for Wild Space Saga on other pages on Facebook, and there's no end to people who will sit there like, oh, get that AI crap out of here, and I'm using better language. So
yeah, but we've got Pip as our presenter now, so people can live with it.
Yeah, there you go.
My character's alive. My little pint-sized character is like she exists, and it's wonderful. And that couldn't be achieved by other means for us.
Yeah, it's really fun doing animations with Pip, and the cool thing about it is I use Grok, and Grok will remember how to animate them, especially like using voices. If you tell it to use a particular voice that you used for the character before, so you always have that Pip voice with the excitability and whatnot. So I think it really works. All right. Well, anyway, I think we can go ahead and wrap it up for now. So remember, everybody. First of all, thank you for checking us out, and for those of you who come here after the fact, hey, we're glad you did, even if you weren't here live with us. And we hope that if you like it, get a chance to spread us out on the social medias. We have our DeviantArt page, which is our oldest standing thing. Showing
14 years. 14 years. It says on there.
Oh yeah.
2012. We made that.
Yep.
Yeah, shortly after I came to the States to see you.
Yep, and that's true.
I would just mention as well the background song. Sorry, B. Just get it in before we wrap up. This one is for the Fellions, and it will feature in a couple of days when I put Faction Focus Volume 2 up.
Yeah, follow us here on YouTube. You get more interesting music, and the cool thing is Terry came up with the songs. He uses Suno to actually just bring the music together. It's really cool. And of course, we have his Instagram page where we show us all the cool AI renderings of various elements of Wild Space Saga.
Well, I will do, yeah. I ain't got around to it yet.
Yeah, that we couldn't quite do, on DeviantArt. And then, of course, we have my X page where I do a lot of announcements for this show, for a lot of the artwork that we do, and other really cool things. And then, of course, we have our Facebook page where we also put announcements. If you're keen to follow us on Facebook, gonna be posting more stuff there. And of course, we have let me see. I think was that it? I think that was it. Yeah, for our social medias. And of course, like I said, for our YouTube page. So where it all happens, some of the main stuff. We have our live stream. And I'm sorry, I'm tripping over my own words here. But thank you once again for following us, guys. Thank you very much for watching us. Watch us after the fact. Thank you for that too. Hey, comment down here below if you have any questions, comments, snide remarks.
Like, share, subscribe.
Like, share, subscribe. We ask that you keep it civil. Check out our books. We have the link down in doobly-doo, which we did fix that link. And so we hope that you and hey, if you like the book, even if you didn't like it, leave a review, even a short one.
Pretend you liked it. Give us a good review anyway.
Yeah. We really do appreciate your feedback, and we hope that you'll join us again next Saturday. We do it every Saturday at 3 p.m., 9 p.m. for our friends across the pond. And so thank you once again for joining us, everyone. And we hope you'll come back again, joining us on the Northwest Passage. So until next time, this is Brandon Hill and Terry, the oh my God, I'm tired, telling you to stay lucky.
I've been back in a job for 4 weeks, because I was out with my Achilles tear. And getting used to it again has been something.
I understand. But, we're telling y'all guys, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you stay lucky and stay blessed. Take care.
See you later.